Hello, all you loving souls. It's Sunshine here from Soul Connection Seekers. And today I did open up, and it feels like I'm excited, but I'm hoping I get everything that they want to say out there. It feels like we're getting a double whammy today. So, what they wanted to discuss is change. And yes, change is always, an unknown thing, right? Good morning, Taylor. So today we're discussing change. And I thought that we would start off with, there's many pages today, and I'm going to try to get it as clear as I can. I didn't even finish writing everything they wanted to talk about today. So yes, I'm sure we'll get through everything. So let's talk about, for some of us, when we think about change, it might involve a desire for another person close to us to change. And you might be hoping and have a desire for them to heal something in themselves. Example, like you may be able to see exactly what the issue or the problem is because you're on the outside and you're looking in. What if they know they have to make a change and maybe they've even promised they're going to make that change? Or they may not even know what it is that needs to change for them. This can take a lot of your energy, time, and bring up a lot for you. It's always our close ones, right? That can be more difficult that way. No matter if it's a relationship with a partner, the relationship with our children, relationship with our parents, relationships with friends. It's always people that are close to us. And the thing about when it comes to other people too, is they're separate than our journey, right? They're on a total individual journey to be here in the human experience as soul beings. And they have things to do that are separate than our own journey, right? But in saying that, when it comes to somebody that's close to us and we know with everything, you might be trying to help them change it or just have put a lot of time and energy into. The thing is, we have to totally accept them for 100% on who they are. But what we can bring forth is, boundaries on what we're allowing, right, in that relationship. So I'll give you a little bit of an example. I have 3 children. They're all grown now. And I was with their father for 17 years. And I think back, and I'm just going to talk about a couple gifts right now that pertain to what we're talking about today. I think back, and I've always known, a gift that he gave me after 17 years was our 3 amazing, beautiful, awesome children. But something that he gave me that is always loud and clear is the gift of caring and loving somebody so deeply and knowing that they have things to work on, but you can't change another person, right? No matter how much you love them, if you're with them, if you're not with them, they have to change for themselves. So after 17 years, I found that when we did separate and we went our different ways, a lot of things that I was wanting or knew the issues were in our relationship, it was after we separated that actually occurred and that actually happened for him, which is beautiful, which is amazing, which I could personalize a lot. But together, some people just grow so much, the other person could stop growing. The other sometimes when we're in relationships, no matter if it's like parents, friends, with our kids, just any kind of relationship. A lot of times we can give them like a crutch not to change, right? And yeah, some people, it has to be in their timing. It has to be, it's their journey. It's separate than our journey. And it doesn't mean you can't not love them. But it does take a lot of energy, right? The thing is, we're going to talk about two different things today. So we're going to talk about other people that are close to us that, you know, we know that there's stuff that they need to heal. We're outside of their container, so we can more clearly see, and they're right in it, so they can't see it the same way. But the bottom line is, when it comes to change, the only thing that we can change is ourselves, right? When we think about change, it can come with a lot of emotions and feelings, and the biggest one being like fear, right? Why? Because our physical body, our human self, our conditioned self, change means like the unknown. It's like the what ifs. So with our conditioned self, with our human self, it's more comfortable to stay safe and not make changes where we don't know what's coming. Okay, so we just talked about the physical self, like the physical body, our physical human self. But to look at it from our heart center, our soul, our higher self, change means like self-awareness, growth, expansion, breakthroughs, and like evolving our soul. We always have choices. I've raised my kids saying to them and practicing all the time, we have choices. I've always told the kids, if something doesn't feel good, you always have choices. You have to change it, right? They're the only ones that can change it. When it comes to our thought system, back to our conditioned self, our human self, a lot of times, you know, somewhere in there we'll know something's not working, right? Something's not feeling good. And we might put out to the universe, you know, we're putting it out by our thought system. So any thought we have, like, gets transmitted. It's like way out there, which is really awesome. So even if we've thought something, I'm trying to think of an example. Say if we know we need a new vehicle, and so we're putting out there, we have a vehicle, but we know it's not working. You've put a lot of money into it, and realistically, you know that you need a new vehicle. But say you're thinking, oh, I don't know how that's going to transpire because I don't have the money for it right now. But we've put that vibration out into the universe that we need a new car. This isn't working right now, so we need a new car. So that's just in the thought system. And if we start if we start using our voice chakra around what we've already put out there, that's like going around and around in the universe, right? We need a new car. And then we use our voice chakra and we start telling people, well, we're looking for a new car, you know, we really need a new car. Then that brings everything forward even more than just the thought systems, right? So that gets into different vibrations. So say you've put out there, I need a new car. You've started talking to people, I need another new car. I don't need a new car. I'm just trying to think of an example. So we've put that vibration out there. It's turning around in the universe through our thoughts. We've started to use our voice chakra around it. So we know that our time with the vehicle we have has like expired, that it's no longer, you know, serving us. And So if we put off our search and our belief system, because we're going to change it, right? We start thinking about it, we started voicing it, we've known that's not serving us anymore, and that's already out there. But if our thought system gets caught up in, or we start voicing, I need a new car, but there's no monies, I don't know how, that's the vibration that we're feeding. And even though we've put that out there that we need a new car, by using our voice and feeding that vibration, it's expired. But since we put it out in the universe, it just gets more and more difficult because we're not, our thought systems put it out there, our voice, but we're feeding it with a different vibration, which keeps the vibration low. So when it comes to change, it's the same thing. It can be the same thing with ourselves, but we discussed we can't change other people. But what we can do is change our perception by, being more heart-centered and not thinking so much here, but connecting with our higher self, our soul. It can change perceptions and so many different things. For instance, we're talking about others, and this is why I'm thinking, I hope I'll be clear on what they want to discuss. So to clarify, we have close ones that sometimes we know that they have to make changes, and because we have the energy cords and stuff with them, they might not even realize it's a problem, or they have to find their time on their journey and do it their way, which can be really difficult, right? If we're sitting here watching them go through different things and we're on the outside and we can just see, it could be so much different. So I'm going to share another little story. I had somebody very close to me, and they stepped into a really unhealthy relationship. And I worked with abused women and children for years, so this is something, that I know of very good. And this individual felt they were in love, thought this was the person. And, I would get the late night calls. I would get, the words of what was happening. Obviously, you give support when it's somebody close to you. But it can go on for a very long time. And it can create you to become somebody that necessarily you're not, right? If you're worrying, if you're concerned, if your mind gets pulled into it because of those energy cords, if you don't think that person is safe, if it's like a real horror story. So what do you do in those situations? And we're going to talk about that today. So I will share with you that this probably went on for close to a year. And when somebody's going through that too, they stay in contact, but at times they'll pull back, or maybe they won't allow you to see them physically, or maybe you're just getting that phone call whenever they really, really need you. So you're getting pulled in, you're using a lot of energy, a lot of fears might be coming up, a lot of concerns might be coming up, a lot of emotions might be coming up. You're talking to that person, you're putting a lot of time and energy into it, and it just seems like you can't get through. Why you can't get through is it's their journey. No matter how close you are to them, they are the ones that the timing has to be right for them. They're the ones that will share when they're ready to share. So I wasn't allowed to physically see this person, but when times came up, if I had to meet with this person outside of their house, I would. And each time that I would see them outside of their house, that person I knew wasn't there anymore. That person that I was looking at was like a shell, right? Totally lost. And praying can do a lot. Your soul connection can do a lot. And it's like trusting in that. But at the same time, my soul was telling me this was like emergency, right? My soul was telling me, if something's not done, I don't know if I'm going to see this person again. It's one thing for me to know that, but I can't make the other person know that, right? So meeting with this person that last time, I was actually physically ill through our meeting with that person. I was in the bathroom most of the time, and in a public place with what's going on in the world. And I thought to myself, what's happening right now? And I realized when I asked my higher self that, I was actually clearing out space in this other person that was with me so new stuff could come in. And I think it was a 3-hour drive, and I was very, very sick, physically sick when I was with this person, just clearing things out, because she was so stuffed. She couldn't hear me, right? And I had to clear out stuff to make the stuff that she needed to hear come in, and she needed to find that herself. So on my way home, I remember being so tired and exhausted. And I remember thinking, I have physically did everything that I can do, Spirit, but this is an emergency. So what am I going to do? So what I did is I had somebody that had passed. I have a lot of people personally that have passed over the years. I called on one in particular person. And because I have did a lot of stuff here with their physical family, so I called in that person. And so what I was doing and what I had been practicing with this person that was here, that was in the situation, is when I would have like feelings and emotions that were so intense that were being brought out in me, and I knew that this person really had to leave the situation, I would practice putting it up there in trust. And that day, I really did that, but I called in somebody that had passed. So I know with all my heart, I had did everything over and over again. What I was doing was not working. They were on their separate journey, and I understood that. But I didn't want to feed that vibration that I was feeling with like fear, concern, worry, worried about safety for that person. So what I had been practicing was, with saying this, I believe that we're all equal, and but we're all separate on our own journey here in this lifetime. So we'll say we have energy levels, vibration levels. So what happens when a family or a friend is going through certain things? We can be up here and they can be doing the same thing over and over again. So their vibration's actually dropping, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. So we do our physical thing, and we're there to support them, we're there to love them, we're there to talk to them, we're there to give them our energy. And what happens is, in that, if they're pulling from our energy cords so much, and we get that worried, and we get that concerned, and we get that, what happens is it's like we start dipping down and feeding that lower vibration, that lower energy, if we're holding that worry and that concern, and we're giving them treats and cookies at that vibration. Well, we don't want them at that vibration. We want to rise them up to their fullest potential, right? To their empowerment, to we know where they should be. So how do we change that vibration? Feelings and emotions are very important things, but we're not built to not recognize that we're not feeling it. They're actually treasures and gifts. So, as we're feeling it, we should feel them. accept them and allow them, and then just give them back to Mother Earth, not collect them in our system. But if we regularly practice that, and then we're getting into like the worry and the concern and how can I help and just different things, then we are actually feeding that vibration where they are. But if we put out there in trust to the divine, to the God of your understanding, to I've did everything here physically. This is what I've did. It's not working, right? I'm going to now fully give it back up to you and know that it's that person's journey, and whatever they need, whatever they are desiring, they need to get there safely. They need to, learn the lessons in it, and I'm putting total faith and trust in you that that's going to happen. So that's changing up the vibration. And every time we go to think about that situation, we are actually, we have a new faith, we have a new understanding. We're not feeding that lower vibration. We put a really higher vibration out to them. So getting back to that ride in the car, when that was 2 to 3 hours long, I did do that, and I had been practicing that. But I called in my beloved one, and I had been working with their family here in the physical. And I just asked him to please have whatever she needs to, learn really quickly, but she needs to get out. She needs to be safe, and I need to see her at her fullest again. And that was on a Sunday. And on Monday, I got the phone call. She was ready to leave. So our thoughts are really powerful things. We can't change other people. We can only change ourselves. But we can change our thoughts around getting other people help when they're so stuffed. I'm just trying to think of where we are. We did discuss vibrations and stuff. So when it comes to change, or us supporting somebody else, we can change our thought systems and know. And when we give it up in trust, if just for a minute we get that worry or that concern, we've given up purely, in trust that it's going to happen. And we gotta put our vibration back out there and know that it's gonna happen. There's nothing bigger in the divine that we put out there. So instead of, feeding cookies and treats wherever that other person's at, just trust and give it out there. But when it comes to change, and we all have, where are we now? And where do we want to be? We all have that in us. And we are all, we have many different bodies. And the bottom line is we're energy. We're put in a physical body for the human experience, which is still energy. And we're these divine souls. But through our human experience and through our conditional self, it's just more comfortable to stay the same, right? And change is change brings up a lot of things. But if we can move out of our mind and know that change is more self-awareness, it's growth, it's expansion, it's evolving our our oversouls, right, in this lifetime. That's pretty amazing mindset to step into that. So today with meditation, we are going to practice with ourselves on something. I'll just give you a moment. Something that you can think of that that you've wanted to change, and we'll put that, we'll practice that trust that we're talking about on giving it up, that it will just, transpire. You'll do stuff here physically that you need to do, but you're not going to put that, there's no like right or wrong emotions or feelings. There's all treasures and gifts. But we can get stuck in like, the worry, the concern, how is it going to happen, instead of just being clear on what it is, giving it out there, and knowing that it's going to come. And every time when I do meditation, I know that we talk about, in the meditation, connecting, grounding, and protecting. And that's, I feel it very important, because as we are connecting with our higher self, our divines, our soul connection, and connecting with Mother Earth, we might as well replenish her, restore her, and fill her up. And I do have a program, Infinity Soul Connections, and we always like do deeper dives into like the stuff that we've been discussing and everything. And if anybody has any questions, you can put it in the chat, or you can always message me. So for right now, we will close down our eyes and just focus on our breath. And we're going to feel that sun starting to touch the top of our head and warm our physical body. As that white light from the God of your understanding, from Father Sky, starts coming into the top of your head, turning into a beautiful golden white light. Move around your mind and into your neck and into your shoulders. That white golden light from the God of your understanding, allowing it to flow down your arms, into your chest and your belly, into your thighs and your buttocks. That white golden light from Father Sky to your thighs, down into your knees, filling you up, into your calves, and into your ankles and the bottom of your feet, and feeling your feet on Mother Earth with this white golden light from the God of your understanding, Father Sky, and allowing that white golden light to fill all of Mother Earth through her communication systems, down into the different layers, filling and replenishing Mother Earth with the white golden light from Father Sky, from the God of your understanding. And right in the middle of Mother Earth is her crystal, her heartbeat. When you're ready, taking that golden white light and gently wrapping it around Mother Earth's heartbeat. And as you do so, it turns into this red light from Mother Earth. And I'd like you to bring that up through the different layers of Mother Earth, all the way up, right into the bottom of your feet. That beautiful red light from Mother Earth, pulling it up into your ankles and your calves, allowing it to fill your physical body, into your knees, into your thighs. That beautiful red light from Mother Earth, into your buttocks and your hips. That red light from Mother Earth into your tummy and into your chest, your shoulders and your throat, and around your head, and down into your shoulders and your arms, and just allowing that red light to sit in your heart from Mother Earth, Seeing if you can feel Mother Earth's heartbeat in your own. And bringing in that white golden light from Father Sky, mixing that in your heart with that red light from Mother Earth, and changing it into a bright pink, and allowing that bright pink just to fill your whole entire body. Now turning that bright light pink, that bright pink into light pink, the color of pure love, unconditional love, allowing that pale pink to go all in you, touching every cell, filling you up with that pale pink, faded pink, the color of unconditional love, the pure pink. Then I'd like you to take that right outside of your body and forming a bubble outside of your body with that pale pink color, and allowing yourself to sit in pure love. Now taking that bubble and turning it into an iridescent bubble on the outside so you can see outside. And you're connected, and you're grounded, and you're protected. Just focusing again on your breath and paying attention to how you feel when you're connected with your higher self. And I'd like you to think about something that you've been knowing that needs to change. And what feelings and emotions are right there with you knowing that this needs to be changed. And whatever feelings and emotions come, just bring them into your body one by one, totally accepting that feeling, allowing yourself to feel that feeling, and gathering it all up in your physical body. And just giving it back in love with Mother Earth out at the bottom of your feet. And in doing so, bringing in another emotion, another feeling into your body that's connected to that thing that you'd like to change. And allowing and accepting that you feel this way. Gathering it all up in your body, allowing and accepting that feeling. And when you're ready, shooting it out the bottom of your feet and giving it back to Mother Earth in love. Now bringing in another emotion and feeling that's around that change you have to make. Accepting and allowing that you feel that way. Collecting it all up in your physical body. Moving it down your body, and when you're ready, giving it back to Mother Earth out the bottom of your feet in love. Now I'd like you to think about that change. Could feel big, could feel small, but that trust outside of yourself that we're talking about, I'd like you to give it up to the God of your understanding, Father Sky, the divine. Put trust in what needs to be changed. It's already there. You're aware of it. You know it. You could even be speaking about it. It's out there in the universe. Putting it in full trust that you're doing the physical here. Putting it in full trust that it will come. Changing the vibration, keeping your vibration high. Not carrying that worry, that concern, or what if, or how around it. Fully giving it to the divine, to your higher self, for it to be worked on. And every time you think of this change and get back into the old mindset, nope, you've given it up in trust. And whenever you're ready, showing gratitude, feeling wonderful that you're able to give it up in trust, right? Raising the vibration and that change that needs to be made within you. Starting to come back into the room, wiggling your feet and your hands. Feeling yourself on that chair. Feeling yourself in the room. So yes, it feels pretty incredible to give stuff up in trust. And we discussed, on our conditioned self, on our human self, on how we can look at change when we're in our mind about change. But then when we look at it from our soul self, from our heart center, our higher self, our soul connection, how that can change from like fear and worry and concern to looking at it from our heart, from our soul, to self-awareness, growth, expansion, breakthroughs, and evolving like our oversoul in this lifetime. So it is a beautiful thing, and change is something that we can only do within ourselves. And when we connect with our higher self, our soul connection, perception changes, right? It just, there's more of a clarity, more of awareness, more of stillness, more of a trusting. So if anybody has any questions, you can put it in the chat, or you can feel free to message me. I'm hoping everybody's having a delightful day, and that you have an amazing, incredible week. And yeah, maybe just whatever you just put up in trust, just check in and keep practicing that. I do feel like you got a double whammy today. So just clarifying about others and not being able to change others, but how we can wrap our minds around it and stay fully in ourselves. Have an amazing week, everybody. Sending much love. Bye-bye.